Part 33. 80s, The Farmer's Wife is the Boss. Author, Village Girl in City. Chapter 322. Chapter 322, Ligation. Mei Shui nodded and agreed without any hesitation, of course. It's okay to eat with more than one person. Fatty quit immediately. His mother was so bad that she didn't take him with her. I want to come too, I want to come too. I will live at Xiao's house from now on. Children are children. Xiao quit. No, if you come, we won't have anything to eat. Xiaopang is really good at eating. Xiao, don't be so stingy. The worst I can do is give you half of the snacks I buy from now on. Xiaopang was not discouraged and immediately became seduced. Xiao rolled his eyes at him. I have money, I can sell it myself. Can the things he sells be compared with his mother's? Watching the two children bickering, everyone became happy. Okay, stop arguing, let's eat first, and then we'll talk after eating. Fatty can come back with Xiao if he wants to come. Grandma, he touched Fatty's head lovingly. This kid is really lovable. When Xiao heard his wife's words, he could only ignore Xiaopang. Xiaopang and the others had no time to talk, they were all focused on the delicious food. They are all practicing martial arts, so they consume more than ordinary children. If they have time to talk, they might as well eat 2 more bowls of rice. Those who don't drink will get full quickly. And He Ans and Wang Lianjai met so late that they secretly revealed their secrets while drinking. After a while both sides knew the basics. Probably the most annoying thing for Hu Lele is seeing Wang Lianjai drinking. But today, even if she had a temper, she couldn't let it out because she was alone. Sister-in-law, let's sit in the living room for a while, they won't be finished for a while. Mei Shui made a pot of digestion tea. Okay. Hu Lele pinched her man hard, drink less, you will feel uncomfortable when you are drunk. Mei Shui glanced at He Ans, smiled, and walked away. This difference makes Wang Lianjai very envious. On the sofa, there were just Mei Shui and Hu Lele. The children had finished eating long ago and were playing in the yard now. Grandma, he was worried, so she put on some clothes and went out to keep an eye on her. As soon as they sat down, the two of them felt a little awkward. Mei Shui is a person of few words, let alone someone she is so unfamiliar with. Fortunately, Hu Lele is kind-hearted. Sister Xiaoxiu, you have given birth to 3 children, how can you maintain such a good figure? Women, no matter what era they are in, love beauty. Mei Shui had long seen the reason for Hu Lele's health. After hearing her question, she said bluntly, Sister Hu wasn't so fat before, right? Hu Lele nodded, feeling a sense of disappointment in her heart. I wasn't that fat when I was a girl. After I got pregnant, due to poor health, I almost had a miscarriage several times. I kept taking medicine in the hospital, so I was able to survive. But after giving birth, my body seemed to have been filled with water and gained weight day by day. After saying that, I felt bitter in my heart. Mei Shui waited and said what she meant. Sister Hu, if I can help you lose weight, are you willing to give it a try? Even if they are new to her, Mei Shui has a good impression of her. Not to mention the relationship between Xiao and Xiaopang, and losing weight is not a terrible recipe. When Hu Lele heard this, her heart tightened. Xiaoxiu, do you really have a way? For some reason, she believed it, she believed her. He nodded, giving her a confirmation, it should be okay. What should I do, take medicine, or exercise? So, the two women started talking about losing weight. By the time He Ans and Wang Lianjai finished drinking, they hadn't stopped yet. He Ans saw Xiaoxiu chatting happily there, so he didn't ask any more questions, got up and went to clear away the bowls and chopsticks. Of course Wang Lianjai saw his actions, smiled knowingly, and got up to help. Brother Wang doesn't need it, I can just do it myself. There is no point in asking guests to help. It's okay, I'm used to it at home. Wang Lianjai rolled up his sleeves and took action immediately. Seeing him like this, Hian said no more. "Thank you, brother Wang." Two grown men were washing dishes in the kitchen, while their wives were chatting happily on the sofa. "Then it's agreed, sister, I'll wait for your prescription." After listening to Xiaoxiu's comprehensive explanation of her body, Hu Lele believed in her more than the doctor. Mei Shui nodded. "Well, I will buy medicine tomorrow and make pills for you." After hearing her agreement, Mei Shui was happier than anyone else. Someone was experimenting on her again. Fortunately, Xiaobai is not here, otherwise, she would have been scolded as an unscrupulous person. "Do you want me to go with you?" She knew that Xiaoxiu and his family had only come to Mingchen not long ago. Mei Shui shook her head. No need, she was more used to being alone. Seeing Mei Shui's behavior, Hu Lele did not force her to follow, but she also gave her a few pharmacies that she thought were good. Mei Shui took it and said seriously that she would go. After the Wang family left, the children also went to wash up and go to sleep for a while. Grandma he sat on the sofa and watched them busy, feeling very satisfied. Mei Shui packed up the two little ones and came out, and saw her grandma smiling like an ant. "Grandma, what are you laughing at?" "Why are you laughing, Xiaoxiu? What do you think of the Wang family? It's rare for Xiao to have such a good friend, who is different from those in the village." Mei Shui relaxed her brows and smiled. "It's not bad, they don't seem to be cheating, they got along very easily." "That's good. I'm afraid you don't like her, and there may be a gap between Xiao and Xiaopeng." "How could it be possible, Grandma? You are thinking too much." Mei Shui looked at her grandma. "It seems that you like them quite a lot." Grandma he nodded, acquiescing. "It's okay. Grandma is not the kind of person who falls in love with someone she meets. Then we'll interact more with each other in the future. They are locals. If Grandma gets bored in the future, she can talk to Sister Hu." Mei Shui is worried that her grandma will not have a companion. "No, she has nothing to say to me. As for you, Lixia is so busy that we don't see her a few times throughout the year. We both also went to Kyoto. You should make more friends." These two people are worried about each other. Mei Shui was so snowy that she didn't think anything was wrong. She was fine alone. Of course, she understood what Grandma meant. "I understand." After Grandma and the children fell asleep, Hians and Mei Shui went upstairs. After going upstairs, Hians couldn't help hugging his wife. "Xiaoxiu, I miss you." Meixiu rolled her eyes. After thinking about what happened yesterday for a day, she finally figured out what was wrong. "You don't seem to have to go to the hospital for surgery because of your cultivation, right?" She broke away from his arms and said with an unhappy look on her face. Hians knew that his wife would be moved and say, "Daughter-in-law, I really went for an operation, just in case survival is important." End of this chapter. 80s, The Farmer's Wife is the Boss. Author, Village Girl in City. Chapter 323. Chapter 323, I'm fine alone. "Oh, since I don't know, my internal strength is not as good as surgery. There are many ways to survive, but what about him? What did he do to please his grandma and get them to stay?" "Daughter-in-law, don't be angry, daughter-in-law. You know that's not what I meant. I just want to make you happy." His original intention was to make her happy. Mei Shui felt a little angry in her heart. "Can you do something for me?" There were many ways to avoid being angry with her, but he was lucky enough to find such an excuse. Of course, Mei Shui didn't know that Wang Lianjai did the same thing. "Brother Wang also had an operation. My sister-in-law is very happy." "Xiaoxiu, why are you not happy, man? Sometimes it tastes better when it's sticky." "Ah." Mei Shui relented, and she was actually very happy that he could take this step. "Forget it, I'll forgive you this time. Please let me know before you do anything next time." Grandma looked at her in the wrong way today. "Okay, daughter-in-law, I will listen to you from now on." After saying that, he pulled her into his arms. The mouth slowly moved closer. "Only Go and take a bath. This night, the two of them once again reached the peak of their lives. In this way, life in Mingcheng has settled down. Mei Shui also went to the medicine store the next day to buy back the medicines she needed. Fortunately, the medicinal materials in the prescription are all common. Mei Shui made 2 copies, one is an enhanced version, which is made with medicinal materials in the space. The other one is a weakened version, using medicinal materials she bought. She needed a casserole to boil medicine, so she bought a few more casseroles, but it was difficult to use the ones in the space. In the kitchen, after Mei Shui prescribed the medicine several times, the room was filled with the smell of medicine. "Mom, what does this smell like? It smells so bad." Xiao was the first to smell it and ran out of his room immediately. "Medicine." Mei Shui reduced her words. Xiao was a little confused. "Who in our family is sick?" After thinking for a long time, he didn't even think of who it was. Mei Shui walked out of the kitchen and touched Xiao's head. "What are you thinking about? This is a weight loss pill for the little fat mother. Go and do your homework. Xiaopeng and the others will come back later. I can't write anymore." These 2 little guys are so noisy that Xiao always plays with them. Fortunately, Grandma took them out shopping. "Oh, can that little fat guy eat it?" Xiao also asked for his good friend. Mei Shui shook her head. "No, Chubby is still young and he is in good health. He is fat because he does not exercise. If you are worried about him, just drag him to exercise together when you have time." "Children, what kind of diet pills should I drink?" When Xiao heard this, he thought about it and realized that it was the same thing. Little fatty just ate and slept every day, and slept and ate. At school, snacks are always on the menu. "Well, I understand, Mom." The slimming pills were cooked in half a day, and then Mei Shui's Huang made them into pills so that she could take them easily. Looking at the dozens of pills on the table, Mei Shui narrowed her eyes. "Now let's see how effective the medicine is." As well as the pills in her space, she also had to find someone to try, but unfortunately there was no fatter candidate around her. She raised her eyelids and said, "Let's ask Sister Hu." After muttering to herself, Mei Shui planned to go find Sister Hu tomorrow. Now that they are here, Xiao doesn't have to go to the school to stay every day. Mei Shui still went to the school on Monday and told the school about Xiao's situation. "But the dormitory is still occupied and the money has been paid, so we can't let the school withdraw it." Mei Shui has not seen Hu Lele since she gave the medicine to her. Of course, Hu Lele also made a choice, because the space version of the medicine is not easy to give out to others to try, so Mei Shui took out 2 medicines for her to choose. In the end, Hu Lele chose the one with stronger medicinal effect. Wang Lianjai has been worried about her since he found out about her. From the day his wife took the medicine, he lost energy at work. He kept thinking about Lele, fearing that she would get sick from taking the medicine. So after finishing handling the company's affairs, I ran directly back home. "Lele, are you feeling uncomfortable in any way?" I don't know how many times I asked him in a day. Hu Lele had no way to deal with her, but she felt very sweet in her heart. "I'm fine, my body has never been lighter. Good job. I think you should trust Miss Xiaoxiu. She will no longer doubt if she chooses to believe." Seeing him worrying all day long and complaining about Miss Xiaoxiu from time to time, she felt sad. "How do you want me to believe that she is only in her 20s and has no medical skills, but she has the nerve to prescribe medicine to you?" Wang Lianjai became very angry when he mentioned this. "You too, I have never disliked you. Why do you have to suffer like this? My legs are getting weak day by day." Hu Lele's heart was full of pain. "You don't mind, but I do, and I hate it." After saying that, Hu Lele burst into tears. "Good karma, I don't want it, I really don't want it, but every time I see those little girls flying towards you like flies, I feel really uncomfortable and painful. I'm afraid that one day you'll get tired of me." Hu Lele's mood was hit by his words and she collapsed immediately. Wang Lianjai also had red eyes when he saw his wife collapse. It wasn't like this before, it wasn't like this between them before. He pressed the person down tightly, fearing that she would hurt him. I'm sorry, it's all my fault. It was me who failed to make you more confident. It was me who caused you to lose your confidence. Lele, don't cry. Don't worry. I will never leave you in this life. No matter how hard the days are, they are over, and now things are getting better. She stayed with her back then, and he won't give up now. You believe in me. But I don't believe in myself. Lianjai, don't be like this, let me try it. I have tried it so many times, and this time is no different. The feeling of collapse engulfed the whole heart. Wang Lianjai's heart suddenly tightened. No, don't leave me, I won't allow it, I won't allow it. His heart ached. It was the first time he saw his wife so sad. Slowly, Hulele's mood finally eased. Lianjai, don't say this again in the future. I feel uncomfortable. After venting her anger, she felt much better. Now her mind was in turmoil. Lianjai, you go to work, I'm fine at home alone. That's right, she is very good now, really very good. She can't forget the look in Mei Shui's eyes that day, the confidence in her eyes, and she firmly believes that the medicine is effective. Even though the consequences would be serious, she chose the stronger medicine. No, I won't leave, I will stay with you at home, and I will never say anything again, never again. His wife believed him, and so did he. Well, Lianjai, I'm really fine. I've been taking it for 2 days. Even though I have diarrhea every day and I'm dying of it, I feel more relaxed than ever before. She was not lying about this, no one knew her own body better than her. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. 80s, The Farmer's Wife is the Boss. Author, Village Girl in City. Chapter 324. Chapter 324, I am Lele. Okay, I believe it, I believe you, but I will stay with you at home these days, you can't drive me away. He pulled her out of his arms and stared into her eyes. Hulele had nothing to do with him. Yes, I agree. The anger slowly turned sweet. He hadn't touched her in the past 2 days because she took medicine, but now, he couldn't help it. Daughter-in-law, I love you. After saying that, Hulele fell down on the sofa. Luckily there is no one at home, otherwise. After Hulele was nourished, his whole person became completely different. From the 3rd day onwards, she found that she could no longer wear any clothes, and she let out a sacred scream in the morning. Ah! Happiness, excitement, hesitation, disbelief. All the emotions were contained in that shout. After another tiring night last night, Wang Lianjai was frightened to death by his wife's scream. Li Yi got up from the bed. Lele, Lele, what's wrong with you? He hurriedly ran into the fitting room. When he saw the people inside, Wang Lianjai couldn't believe it. Is this true? The daughter-in-law, who was 1 size smaller than before, appeared in front of him. Lianjai, Lianjai, look, have I lost weight? She hasn't gone out these days. She only wears the same clothes at home. She originally planned to go out for a walk today. I didn't expect it. Well, I have lost weight. I have lost a lot of weight. Wife, you are so beautiful. Wang Lianjai's eyes turned red. Meixiu didn't know what happened to the Wang family these days. She had been dragged around by her grandma these days, and even went to He An's motorcade. She smiled when she saw the busy people inside. Grandma, let's go. Ans is busy loading truckloads of goods and inspecting truckloads. He was extremely busy. Grandma, he agreed very much. Let's go, it's not far from the street. We just go shopping. It's getting colder and colder, and it's time for the children to add more clothes. So the two of them took Xiaopeng and Xiaocheng and left the motorcade without saying hello to He-Ans. Walking on the road and looking at the passers-by, Grandma He didn't even dare to think that she would be like this one day. Xiaoxiu, thank you. The voice was soft but sincere. Of course, Mei Shui heard her grandma's words. She couldn't bear the thank you, and she was just thanking her grandma for it. Grandma, let's go. There is a clothes store in front of us. Let's go in and have a look. Mei Shui changed the subject. Walk. This visit lasts a day. After picking up Xiao from school in the afternoon, I went home directly. Xiao, tomorrow is the weekend again. Do you plan to go somewhere to play on the weekend? You know how to read every day, don't look like a fool. Grandma, he said worriedly. Xiao shook his head and said, Grandma, I have a lot of homework to do. It meant that he didn't want to go out. You are almost turning into a nerd. How about this? My wife will take you out to buy clothes tomorrow. Okay, today I bought Xiaopeng and the others, but I haven't bought Xiao's yet. Xiao didn't care. Oh, okay. But the plan did not change quickly. Early the next morning, Hu Leilei's family came over. Grandma, he was surprised when she saw the person coming. Are you the chubby mother? This person has changed too much, right? Grandma, I'm Leilei. Why, don't you recognize me? This week has really changed a lot. If she hadn't faced the mirror every day, she wouldn't have believed it was herself. Wang Lianjai also had a happy face. I am also very grateful to Mei Shui. Grandma, is Miss Xiaoxiu at home? He came today mainly to thank Miss Xiaoxiu. I'm at home, hurry up, it's windy outside, come in first. Get out of the way and let the three of them go in first. Madam, are Xiao and the others at home? Xiaopeng was very happy, but when he came to the He family, what he wanted to see more was Xiao and his brothers. Haha, here you go and play with them, they are all in the room. Now that it's getting cold outside, I rarely come to play in the yard. I think it's going to snow soon. When we got inside, it was indeed much warmer. Xiaoxiu, look who's coming, Grandma, he shouted with surprise. Mei Shui had heard the sound a long time ago and knew who was coming, but when she saw the person, she was also startled. Sister Leilei, do you feel uncomfortable in any way? The effect of this medicine is amazing. How long has it been taking? Hu Leilei immediately ran to Mei Shui and said, it's okay. You're fine. It's better than ever. Xiaoxiu, thank you. After saying that, Hu Leilei gave Mei Shui a 90-degree bow. Mei Shui was so frightened that she quickly ran away. Sister Leilei, what are you doing? She quickly helped the person up. Your gift is too big. No, it's not big, Xiaoxiu, if it weren't for you, I really don't know what would have happened in the future. She knew her mood very well. She could endure it for 1 year or 2 years, but could she endure it for the rest of her life? But now, she is really not afraid of those people coming to her door. She used to feel inferior, but now, oh, come here. Wang Lianjai understood what his wife meant and touched his nose awkwardly. He-Ans is getting closer and closer to the Chinese New Year, and he is getting busier and busier. He went to reflect on it yesterday. There was no man at home to receive Wang Lianjai. Fortunately, Wang Lianjai did not stay long. After saying thank you for a while, he also went to work. He had been at home for many days and had a lot of work matters. After the others left, there were only 3 adults left in the family, and they spoke more freely. You have changed so much, Xiaohu, I didn't expect you to be so beautiful. Grandma, he said sincerely. Grandma, won't I look bad if I get fat? Hu Leilei said angrily. Grandma, he quickly shook her head, it's not bad looking at all. It's quite pleasing, but it's not as good looking as it is now. Looking at Grandma explaining in a serious manner, Hu Leilei and Mei Shui also laughed. Grandma, please stop talking. I know what I look like, and it's hard for you to say the word lovable for you. I'm not chubby. Hulelei's mentality is much better now, and she can even make fun of herself. By the way, Zioxiu, your medicine is really effective. Do you know how long I have been seeing doctors? They can't do anything. My weight keeps increasing day by day. When she talked about this, she became angry. However, she was even more grateful to Zioxiu. You're welcome, Sister Lele, just use it well. Mei Shui was also very satisfied with the effect. However, the effect is great. It seems that if necessary in the future, it is better to use external medicinal materials, which is more normal. However, thinking of one of his friends, Hulele became a little embarrassed. Zioxiu, I came today mainly to thank you, but also to ask, do you sell this medicine? She herself asked Zioxiu to confiscate her money, but Mei Shui smiled inwardly. Sister Lele, do you have any friends who can't lose weight? If this is the case, then someone has tried the normal medicine that she took last time. End of this chapter. 80s, The Farmer's Wife is the Boss. Author, Village Girl in City. Chapter 325. Chapter 325, Will you sell it? Hulele nodded, yes, Zioxiu is really smart. Do you think you can sell this medicine? She couldn't force it. Sell it, but Lele, you also know that the medicine you are taking is too troublesome. Many of the medicinal materials in it are difficult to buy on the market. If your friend wants it, the only one that I mentioned last time is the slower one. Not afraid that she would overthink it or that she had no one to test the medicine, Mei Shui quickly added, don't worry, the effect will be the same, but time will be slower. Hulele has experienced it, and the benefits cannot be explained by outsiders. Sure, just go slower. Slower is not terrible, but the terrible thing is that it has no effect. Well, I'll give it to you in a minute. It doesn't matter if it's money or not. Just for Sister Lele's sake, I'll give it to her. Mei Shui was very happy that someone was trying the medicine. How is that possible? The medicinal materials you bought also cost money. She still understands this bit of worldliness. Mei Shui shook her head, no, Sister Lele, you are making yourself known to others. She really just wanted to find someone to try the medicine. If it was really effective, was she worried that she would not have the money to buy it in the future? Finally, it was Grandma He who spoke, and the two of them finally calmed down. Okay, it doesn't cost much, so just take it. This time, Wang Lianjai and Hulele came to the door with a lot of good things. Grandma accepted all these gifts. Hulele took the medicine given by Mei Shui and left the He family before noon. Xiaopeng ended up staying. In Hulele's words, if he didn't have money to pay for medicine, he just mortgaged his son's debt here. After the people left, Grandma He looked at Zioxiu with some worry. Zioxiu, will that prescription be any trouble? She didn't want to go through what happened last time again. Mei Shui shook her head, Grandma, don't worry, this is not a prescription to cure a disease, it's just for weight loss, so those people shouldn't look down on it. Grandma He understands those people, and she is talking about those old men. It's better to be on guard. Those people are better than each other. We are not their opponents. They really can't beat others when they play tricks. Mei Shui understood this. Grandma, don't worry, I know. Besides, I have no intention of making money from this prescription, at least not now. Grandma He tapped Mei Shui's forehead angrily. It's best to be careful in everything, she asked again without worry. Grandma, don't worry, what I gave Sister Lele was the original recipe, and what she is getting now is my own improved recipe. So, you just use them as an experiment. The old lady was speechless. Mei Shui gave her grandma an awkward but polite smile. Correct answer. You girl, you are not afraid of getting into trouble. Why are you so worried? This child is really worrying. It'll be fine, I'm sure of it. Don't do something like this again next time. Grandma is scared to death by you. Grandma He patted her chest with a scared look on her face. Well, it won't happen next time, just don't tell grandma next time. There are so many prescriptions in the book, they are all treasures, it would be a waste if you don't use them to make money. Fortunately, Hulele didn't know that she was being tested on medicine, otherwise she would have, well, she was still very happy. Losing weight has been her obsession for the past few years. After the children have been playing for a while, the room cannot satisfy them. Mom, little fat brother said there is a cinema here and I want to go see a movie. Xiao Cheng was the first to run out and shouted to his mother. What cinema? She really didn't know. Looking at his mother's confused look, Xiao Peng, who ran out from behind, immediately explained. After listening, I finally understood. Do you want to go and see it? She was a little interested in this. Xiao and Xiao Peng lagged behind their younger brother, but as soon as they came out, they heard their mother's words and their hearts became excited. Aunt Chue, I'll take you there. Today is the weekend, so there must be some good movies. Xiao Peng didn't want to be too positive. Last time I heard from my classmates that there was a ghost movie recently. It was really good. Aunt Chue, how about we go see it? Xiao Peng was really thinking about it. He originally wanted his parents to accompany him to watch it, but unfortunately his parents would not let him watch ghost movies until death. Grandma, he frowned when she heard the ghost movie. Little fatty, aren't you afraid? Meigs, you really wanted to see them, Grandma, how about we take them to have a look? She looked excited. Fatty shook his head. Madam, don't be afraid. Our classmates said it's not scary at all. After saying that, Fatty hid behind Xiao. Seeing him like this, what else can't be understood? This kid is afraid. Xiaoxiu, the children are still young, can they see this ghost or something? Grandma, he was very worried. What should I do if I scare someone? However, she hasn't watched a movie in many years. When she watched it before, someone went to the countryside to play Tunnel War. Xiao Peng, Xiao Cheng, Xiao Yu, Xiao Fat, are you afraid? Mei Shui looked at the four children and asked. Who would have known that these four people are all very brave? Mom, we are not afraid. Aunt Shui, I'm not afraid either. Well, seeing that they were not afraid, Mei Shui also became interested. Well, let's pack up and go watch a movie. There is no need to cook at home at noon. But Xiao Peng, Aunt Shui can't find where the cinema is, you have to lead the way. Mei Shui gave Xiao Peng an important task. No problem, Aunt Shui, I can lead the way. The cinema was not far from them. He had been shopping there with his mother before, so he would definitely be able to find it. Okay, seeing that everyone is so happy, Grandma, he doesn't intend to be the bad guy. Say it first, don't cry after reading it. No, ma'am, I'm very brave. I'm not even afraid of snakes. Xiao Cheng hugged the old lady and started to act coquettishly. I'm not afraid either, I dare to catch Xiao Hong. Xiao Peng immediately proved himself. Only Xiao, is he afraid of ghosts? Okay, I'm a little scared, Mom, why don't we wait until Dad comes back? She said she was not afraid, but in her heart Xiao was still a little scared. Seeing Xiao like this, Mei Shui frowned and said, Xiao, if you are scared, we shouldn't go. You are still young. It doesn't matter if you wait until you grow up. After all, he is a child, so it is normal to be afraid, and he is not in a hurry. Xiao Peng quit. Xiao Yu, they said it last time, it's really not scary. In the end, Xiao was persuaded by Xiao Peng, and he was not afraid at all. So, everyone set out to go to the cinema together. To be honest, Mei Shui was really shocked when she came to the gate. There are a lot of people here. Xiao Peng, Xiao Cheng, take care of your mother. Xiao Yu, Xiao Peng, take care of your wife. When you go out with 4 children, you have to be careful. Okay, Mom. After buying the tickets and some melon seeds and peanuts, Mei Shui took the children in and queued up. It was still a while before the movie they wanted to watch started. End of this chapter. 80s, The Farmer's Wife is the Boss. Author, Village Girl in City. Chapter 326. Chapter 326, Share. Hulele held the pills given by Mei Shui in her hand and went to find her good friend without saying a word. Okay, thank you, Auntie, I'll go find Jia Jia right away. Unfortunately, he couldn't find her when he arrived at his friend's house. She knew that Jia Jia had been staying at home after her divorce. Her parents treated her pretty well, but she felt a little unhappy, so it was normal for her to go out for a walk. Lele, please slow down. Wang Jiajia's parents were really happy for Hulele when they saw her change. I am also happy that my daughter has such a good friend. I know, Auntie, you should go back to the house quickly. It's cold outside. After saying that, Hulele ran away. Wang Jiajia was introduced to her marriage by her family. Maybe she didn't understand it clearly at the time, and she married a scumbag. 1 year after getting married, he went out to get someone else's belly bigger. But Wang Jiajia is different from Hulele. She has been obese since she was a child, not because she eats well. There is a kind of person who is born to be fat even if he drinks water. Today, she was fine at home. When she came out of the room to drink water, she heard her sister-in-law complaining to her mother. Also, she is already married, and staying in her natal family is not a long-term solution. So, she felt very depressed and wanted to go out for a walk. This creek was a place she often came to when she was a child. It was quiet and the roads were clean. There were always people walking around here on weekdays. Plus it was broad daylight, so she wasn't afraid either. Well, it's time to stand up on your own. You can't rely on your family all the time. Wang Jiajia took a deep breath and swallowed it hard. In this era, divorce is a very shameful act. Regardless of right or wrong, she is a divorced woman. She can make do with it, but she can't do it. Even if she had to live alone in this life, she couldn't bear to live with such a man. After leaving for who knows how long, Wang Jiajia decided to find a restaurant to have a good meal. Because she was not the one who was at fault. The man also gave her a large amount of money for the woman, so he could still support himself. On the way back, Wang Jiajia was still thinking, it would be great if Lele was there. It's a pity that I am a divorced woman, so it is better not to go to her. Lele, I miss you so much. Looking at the sky, Wang Jiajia sighed. At this moment, Hulele ran over from not far away. As she ran, she shouted, Jiajia, Jiajia, where are you? She knew Jiajia. She rarely left the house. Now that she came out, something must have happened at home. So, she has to find her first. She was anxious and panicked along the way, and she became more and more uneasy. Jiajia, do you hear me? Come out quickly. Of course Wang Jiajia heard the sound, and her collagen-filled face showed her first sincere smile today. Lele, Lele, I'm here. She also ran over looking for Lele's voice. After a while, the two met across from each other. Hulele breathed a sigh of relief. Wow, Jiajia, you scared me to death. The two of them grew up together since they were young, and their relationship was something outsiders didn't understand. Seeing the person, Hulele held the person tightly in her arms and asked, did something happen at home? It was usually difficult for her to even ask her to go out, but today, she actually ran out alone. Hearing her friend's worries, Wang Jiajia laughed and said, it's nothing. It's just that my sister-in-law told my mother that she wanted to find another family for me to marry. When she said this, Wang Jiajia was very calm. Hulele was heartbroken when he heard this. Jiajia, why don't you come and stay at my house? He sincerely invited me. Wang Jiajia let go of Hulele and shook her head, but her heart was warm. No, Lele, you are very happy and you should not be tainted with my misfortune. How could she go to Lele's house? Jiajia, I don't allow you to say that. What I don't introduce is divorce. If it weren't for Mei Shui, she wouldn't have divorced Lian Jai in a few years, right? Even though these two people look carefree on the outside, they are both very sensitive in their hearts. Lele, okay, let's not talk about this matter, let's talk about why you came to me. Wang Jiajia didn't want to mention this matter again. Sure enough, the person who knows who Lele best is Wang Jiajia. What else can I do? Of course I have something good for you. Let's go to my house first. Without saying a word, he took the person away. Wang Jiajia is used to her behavior. Slow down, I can't run anymore. By the way, Lele, did you take any medicine? Why have you lost so much weight? Wang Jiajia came back to her senses and immediately noticed something was wrong with her friend. Don't mention it, my friend who has lost weight is really beautiful, even better than when she was a girl. The flavor in it is really tempting. We'll talk about this later. It's so cold outside, let's go back first and talk about it. Lele tightened her clothes and walked quickly while pulling her with her. After walking for a long time, the two of them arrived at Lele's home. Wang Jiajia was also anxious to know what was wrong with her. You can tell me now. She sat down on the sofa and immediately started asking questions. Lele knew what she was thinking. Why are you so anxious? Drink a glass of water first. Are you not cold? After speaking, he put a glass of water in her hand and said, let's talk about you first. Is your sister-in-law gossiping again? After taking a sip of water, Lele spoke. Wang Jiajia shook her head and sighed, what can I do? That home is her home now, and I am just a daughter who has been returned. When she said this, she felt very sad. What did your mother say? She knew her best friend, but she didn't feel comfortable staying at home now. How can my mother say, which one is more important, my grandson or my daughter? She actually understood. But even though I understand, I still feel very uncomfortable. But you can come out and live on your own. The daughters are the most injured in the family. I think so too, but I have to find a house first. Fortunately, she had some confidence. It's not easy to find a house. There are a lot of houses on the street. If you want to live there, leave it to me. Lele is very supportive of his friend living there. Her sister-in-law is also a person who is under the lamplight, and only focuses on the little profit at hand. Then get rid of it. Wang Jiajia was not polite to her, but what she wanted to know more was how she lost weight. Can you tell me what's going on with you now? Han pointed at Lele and asked. Seeing her like this, Lele smiled and said, don't worry, you have your share, but it was better not to say anything about her share of the medicine. He took out a medicine bottle from the bag and said, here, take 2 pills a day, after meals. After finishing speaking, Lele thought about the consequences. I think you should move it out and use it again. This medicine. What should I say? She has such a big family, she can't occupy the toilet all the time. Others still use it. Why? Wang Jiajia looked puzzled. It's the end of the month, monthly tickets are activated, thank you all. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. 80s, The Farmer's Wife is the Boss. Author, Village Girl in City. Chapter 327. Chapter 327, Half a Month. Because. Lele burst out laughing after saying this. Think about it, if your home is locked out of the toilet by you, will you be able to stay in that home? Let's not talk about imprisoning others. What if it is you who is imprisoned? Are you going to your pants? After saying this, Lele was as happy as a fool. Wang Jiajia thought about the consequences. Forget it, let's find a place to live first. Stop talking, let's stay and enjoy the good things slowly. The two of them talked and laughed together, and took care of lunch themselves. Speak to the other side. Mei Shui walked out of the cinema with her children, with a sarcastic look on her face. Have you agreed that you won't be afraid? When she walked to an open space, Mei Shui held the little kids around her with her hands. Grandma he also wiped the sweat from her head and said, Xiaoxiu, please stop scolding them, don't talk about them, I'm a little scared when I look at them, this ghost movie is too real. Perhaps in their eyes, this kind of movie is very real and scary, but Mei Shui felt it was too fake. Humph, do you want to watch it next time? Looking at these children, Mei Shui had evil intentions. Mom, let's go shopping, don't stand here. Xiao Peng was a little scared and held her mother's hand tightly, I'm hungry. If he didn't look back at the dark passage, Mei Shui might really believe him. Yes, Mom, let's go quickly. Xiao Cheng also stepped forward and grabbed his mother's hand. Xiao Yu and Xiao Peng supported each other. Xiao Peng, don't brag next time. Xiao Yu was a little angry. Xiao Peng also had some regrets, I didn't want to either, I didn't know it was so scary. If I had known it, I wouldn't have talked about watching a ghost movie. Don't war movies look good? Humph, hurry up, let's go out first. After all, even children are a little scared. Grandma he couldn't stand it anymore, let's go, Xiaoxiu, let's take them out for a walk, otherwise they will wet the bed tonight. If she stayed any longer, she was afraid that these children would cry. For Grandma's sake, Mei Shui nodded and agreed, okay, let's go to the mall for a walk, just in time to buy a few pairs of shoes. Okay, it's freezing today. You should buy some thick cotton shoes. Grandma he agreed with her face. After saying that, she pulled Xiao and walked out. Of course Xiao Peng followed his good friend. Xiao Peng and Xiao Cheng held onto their mother's hand tightly. Walking on the street, the four children finally came back to their senses. Mom, can we come again next time? Maybe the fear has passed, and the little death-defying expert is online again. I'll ask your dad to come next time. Mei Shui looked disgusted. Well, let dad watch it with us next time, and we won't be afraid. Haha, it's a death scene. If it weren't for the street, Mei Shui would have lost her. The mall is really lively. Mom, I want to eat this cake. Xiao Cheng ran to the door of a store, his mouth watering. Fatty also came over, Auntie, can I eat it? He was so greedy. This fragrance is alluring. Okay, you can go in and choose one. Mei Shui had no intention of wronging these children when it came to food. Of course, she wanted to eat it herself. The freshly made cakes were really delicious. This group of people are all foodies. Once inside, how is it possible for one person to be alone? When they came out, each of them had 2 bags in his hand, and no one was willing to give the bags to others. Mei Shui is almost the same. Grandma, this thing is so delicious, let's buy some more when we go back later. For Mei Shui, food is the most attractive thing. I think it's okay. Grandma he agreed with her face. When buying shoes for the children, chubby Mei Shui didn't miss them and bought him a pair of shoes similar to Xiao's. It made him very happy. A pair of shoes doesn't cost much, so Mei Shui is not stingy enough. Okay, let's go back, it's getting late, and we still have to make dinner. On the way back, Mei Shui bought some vegetables. Fatty is here, and I think the Wang family and his wife will also come over for dinner. So I have to buy more vegetables. At this point, Hu Lele also sent her friend back, and then she also went to buy groceries, planning to go to Mei Shui's house to have a good time tonight. It is really hard for her to cook her own food, especially compared to Xiaoxiu. I bought a lot of big vegetables and walked to the He family yard with them. The 2 parties met in the alleyway to He's house. Grandma, Xiaoxiu, you are back. Seeing the people in front, Hu Lele walked over quickly and shouted. Xiao Peng was very excited when he saw his mother. Mom. Hey, brat, do you have any skin today? With both hands empty, Hu Lele could really glare at his son. Sister Lele, are you here to pick up Xiao Peng? Mei Shui shouted with a smile when she saw the person. However, Mei Shui had some thoughts when she saw what she had in her hand. No, I'm not here to pick him up, I'm here to make a living. Xiaoxiu, "Grandma, you won't welcome me, right?" Hulele said with a pitiful look. "Welcome, welcome, come as soon as you come." "Why did you buy so many things, Grandma?" he said with a smile while looking at other people's things. It would be more convincing if her eyes were not so direct. "Grandma, just welcome me. I want to have a good meal tonight. You don't know, I haven't been able to eat a good meal recently." Hulele was very familiar with his son, and nothing else mattered to him. "Go directly to Grandma he and kiss your daughter more than your daughter." Back home, Mei Shui saw that Hulele had brought so many dishes, so she didn't say much and just carried the dishes into the kitchen. "There are a lot of dishes tonight and it will take a long time, so it's better to prepare them early." Throughout the weekend, Hulele and his family were eating at the He family. The relationship between the two families is getting better and better. It also took Wang Jiajia 2 days to move out. Her mother was reluctant to move away, but she could still tell that her sister-in-law was obviously happy. The first thing she did when she moved to her new home was to take the medicine Lele brought her, but unfortunately, there was no response at all. A week has passed like this, and Hulele has also visited Wang Jiajia, and Wang Jiajia has also experienced the happiness in it, but it is not as exaggerated as Hulele said. This made Hulele feel embarrassed, but she immediately thought of what Mei Shui said, and her confidence returned. "It's okay, you will see obvious changes in half a month." Hulele smiled back. Wang Jiajia raised her eyebrows and said, "Is there anything you can't say between you and me? I know you too well." Looking at her look, he knew that she was not telling the truth to him. Hulele shook his head. "Don't ask. Even if you ask, I won't tell you. I promised others. If there is anything she still doesn't understand, then I won't ask." After half a month, she can still afford to wait. "Speaking of which, is your wife a little cleaner now?" Wang Lianjai is good looking, and now that he is rich, many women will pounce on him. "Please give me a subscription. Authors who are capable would like to give me a full subscription, but I have no choice. Now I live on the equalization system. If it doesn't reach 500 yuan, the author will have no basic salary." Wow, what a pitiful author. End of this chapter. 80s, the farmer's wife is the boss. Author, Village Girl in City. Chapter 328. Chapter 328, Consultation. "It's very clean, but I plan to go to work in his company." Humph, I stared at it. "Yo, that's cool," Wang Jiajia joked. "It's not that I'm overthinking it, but now I dare to meet people and I'm not afraid of embarrassing them." Hulele had an expression, "You know. This woman, obey her. You are cruel." It seems that many women will be disappointed. Xiao and his friends are about to have a school holiday, and Mei Shui and the others plan to go back to the village after Xiao's holiday. The previous village chief somehow made all the phone calls to Qianziang. Hence he asked someone to come over and report the news. Since the establishment of Qianziang's company, he has been very busy, and all the business in Mingcheng has been handed over to his subordinates. But he himself is running out of town and seems to be opening 2 more hotels. For this reason, he and the others also became busy. You have to match the hotel with the car, which is also money. He often complained about Qianzi's big heart and quick actions. Another half-month has passed, and Wang Jiajia has achieved obvious results. She also learned about Mei Shui's existence from Hulele. "I plan to come to my door in person to thank you. It's a pity that Mei Shui has no intention of meeting her. Let Hulele take the lead directly." Wang Jiajia's medicine is different from Hulele's. After taking it for a month, she has to take it for another month to stabilize her condition. Mei Shui gave the medicine to Hulele and asked her to deliver it to others. Of course there was plenty of money. Wang Jiajia gave the money to Hulele and asked her to take it to Mei Shui. The money is not much, only 200 yuan, but considering the cost of the medicine, it is high. The cost of a pair of medicines is about 30 yuan, and Mei Shui felt at ease when she received 200 yuan. No, after the two best friends realized the effects, they began to make plans for this medicine. Lele, do you think it's good for us to sell this medicine? How many fat people like them are there in the country? If we can really start a business, thinking about the profits, both Wang Jiajia and Hu Lele will be very excited. That's good, but I don't know if Xiaoxiu will agree. This prescription is still in someone else's hands. They don't have that much money to buy that prescription. How about you ask? We will pay for the cost, and she will give out the medicine. Wang Jiajia is not stupid, she has her own plan in mind. She can't rest on her laurels for a few more years. Continuing like this is not an option. She has to do something. Instead of thinking about the present, she has to think about the future. She doesn't want to get married or anything. After losing weight, her family members said they would help her find another one, but she was unwilling. Not because of that man, but because she didn't want to. Then I'll ask tomorrow. Hu Lele felt that Xiaoxiu's temperament meant that the chance of success was not high. What are you going to do tomorrow? Let's go now, let's go take action as soon as you say it. Then what should you do? Are you waiting at home alone? If you go, I may not come back for dinner at night. Hu Lele's favorite place to visit is his house. Wang Jiajia knows her well. I'm going home because I'm afraid I'll starve to death. After saying that, she pulled Hu Lele and went out. Mei Shui is packing her things and plans to go back to the village the day after tomorrow. Xiao is on vacation, and he will go after the Chinese New Year when school starts here. He doesn't feel comfortable celebrating the Chinese New Year here, so he might as well go back to the village. It just so happens that Hians will go back to the village to collect goods, and they can make a car and go back. Grandma, don't take these things, we will have to come back then after the New Year. It was time for Xiaopeng and the others to go to kindergarten. They had to go to school. Ah, but I don't have many clothes from Xiao at home. Grandma, he held all Xiao's clothes in her hand. Yes, didn't I buy it for Xiao when I went back last time? Just wear it in the village. Mei Shui found it troublesome. Humph, hello girl, I brought these with me, can I still wear the ones from last year? Grandma, he rolled her eyes at Mei Shui angrily. You are not afraid of the gossips of those gossipy women in the village, because everyone in the village knows that Xiao is not his biological child. If his clothes are worse, he will not be able to compare with Xiaopeng and the others. That's fine. Mei Shui really just found it troublesome. What are you afraid of? If you have a car, just let Ans take it when the time comes. A family has a lot of things. When Hu Lele came, the living room at home was full of things. Seeing this scene, Hu Lele was shocked and said, Grandma, are you leaving? Seeing Hu Lele's arrival, Grandma, he was still very happy. Yes, it's not long before the New Year. We will go back the day after tomorrow to prepare for the New Year. It's still comfortable in my hometown during the Chinese New Year. Hu Lele didn't expect that he really wanted to leave. Then what should we do? She was still thinking about eating and drinking during the Chinese New Year. What else can we do? Don't you need to go back to your parents' house? Don't you need to go back to your husband's house to celebrate the New Year? Grandma, he rolled her eyes at her. Don't think about living in our house every day. To this girl, Grandma, he became more and more direct. But Xiaopeng will miss you. Seeing that he couldn't do it, he immediately pulled out his son. Come on, it's weird that your little fat guy misses us. He just wants our food just like his mother. Watching them bickering, Mei Shui laughed without saying a word. In fact, Xiaopeng was picked up by his grandparents as soon as he went on vacation. I'm not at home now, so what are I thinking about? I'm thinking about ghosts. Seeing that he could not convince Grandma, Hu Lele directly asked Mei Shui for help. Unfortunately, Mei Shui didn't even look at her. In the end, I can only tell my purpose. After hearing this, Mei Shui said with a nonchalant expression, okay, tell me how much you want, and I will prepare it when I go back during the Chinese New Year. They came back just after the 15th day. Of course, the more the better, Xiaoxiu, then this matter is settled, and we will buy directly from you. I originally wanted Xiaoxiu to join. Meixiu frowned. Once or twice was okay, but she wouldn't be happy if she made pills every day. Well, Sister Lele, ask your friend, how about we form a joint venture? Of course, I will provide the prescription and you will contribute the capital. You can discuss how to divide it. It would be more comfortable to hand over the prescription. Xiaoxiu, are you willing to do business with us? Hulele did not expect that she would get such a big surprise. Let's just say it first, I won't do anything. Mei Shui immediately became vigilant. You will do the operation and so on. I will only take care of the prescription. You have to do the rest by yourself. Mei Shui pointed to the 3 children and grandma who were busy. As you can see, I have a lot of family members and a lot of things to do. That's right, then I'll go back and talk to Jia, and I'll talk to you when I come over tomorrow. She couldn't make up her mind on this matter. Well, go and call your friend over and discuss it together to avoid trouble. Originally, Mei Shui didn't want to contact outsiders. Mainly because I feel annoyed. It is also a headache to deal with people. In addition, we don't know each other very well, so we don't have to meet them. Regarding typos, it's not that the author doesn't want to correct them. The author of the paid chapters cannot correct them now. The author of the free chapters will definitely correct them when he sees them. Here, I would like to apologize to all the darlings who catch bugs. Of course, if it is a newly released chapter, the author can still make changes. Please actively participate in catching bugs. Thank you all. It's the end of the month. If you have a monthly ticket, don't keep it. Vote for the author quickly. I love you. End of this chapter. 80s, the farmer's wife is the boss. Author, Village Girl in City. Chapter 329. Chapter 329, Going Home for the New Year. What tomorrow? I'll call her now. She lives not far away. It's just over the main street, and it only takes an hour to go back and forth. It's okay, then Sister Lele, go and ask her to come over. Mei Shui had no objection. When Hulele left, Grandma he became worried again. Xiaoxiu, is this really okay? You know, the prescription in Xiaoxiu's hand is very precious. Grandma, no matter how good the prescription is, I can make money, so why not use it to make more money? There are 3 children to raise at home. When it came to this, Mei Shui disliked the children very much. Just know how to spend money. When Xiao and the others heard this, they were all confused. Mom, are we spending a lot of money? Well, there's no answer to that. Go about your business. Hurry up your action, you may have to eat at home soon. When Wang Jiajia arrives, the 3 of them will discuss the matter over a dinner. Mei Shui pays for the medicinal materials and the cost of the medicinal materials, and she gets 60% of it. The rest will be handed over to Wang Jiajia and Hulele, and each of them will get 20%. Originally, it was said that Mei Shui would get 80% of the total, and it would be better for them to get 10%, but Mei Shui felt a little embarrassed and was squeezing them too much. So they gave up another 20% to give them some motivation. In this way, Mei Shui returned to the village with a mission. After the family returned, they were welcomed by the whole village. Third aunt, you finally remembered to come back. If you don't come back, we will miss you to death by the stream. A group of people immediately gathered around. Mei Shui found a gap and got out. With both hands, 2 big bags were placed on her back. The same goes for He-An's. Once in the village, the children can be let go without any supervision. On the way home, He-An sighed with emotion. Xiaoxiu, the village is still lively. Meixiu agreed very much with his words. Of course, people in the village have lived together for a long time. It's not like in the city. Once the door is closed, no one knows anyone. Will you go back in the future? This was what he was most worried about. Go back, Xiaopeng and the others should go to school. There are kindergartens now, and we can't fall behind others. After going to Mingcheng, Mei Shui learned that all the children in the city had to go to school when they were about 3 years old. Went to kindergarten. After attending school for a few years, go to school to attend preschool or primary school. That's good. Hians breathed a sigh of relief. Why don't we leave after the 15th day? But there were so many things at home, and Hians was confused. Yes, don't worry, I will arrange the work in the fields. Xiao Yi is still very capable. After returning home and putting away his things, Hians turned around and went down the mountain again. There were still a lot of things in the car. Those who follow him can't keep working for him. They have to collect vegetables and have to be taken away tomorrow. They are too busy. The house has been empty for several months. If we don't clean it up, we won't be able to live in it tonight. Fortunately, Aunt Zillion and the others knew that they were back, so they immediately ran over with Aunt Zhengting and Aunt Milian. Xiaoxiu, let's help you, otherwise you won't be able to work. It was Aunt Milian who spoke. Aunt Milian, Aunt Zillion, Aunt Zhengting, I'll trouble you. She is not a pretentious person. The house really needs a good cleaning. I'll worry about you downstairs. I'll just take care of things upstairs. Mei Shui immediately arranged the people. Sure, no problem. The four of them did what they said and immediately split up to take action. Xiaobai also rushed back when his master arrived home. He jumped upstairs and said, "Master, you are so cruel. You have been gone for several months and you don't even want Xiaobai anymore. A dog is so lonely." Meixiu was very happy when she saw Xiaobai. "Hey, Beepy, tell me what happened in the village recently." Xiaobai was her spy. Xiaobai rolled his dog eyes and talked about what happened in the village word by word. Mei Shui listened while doing hygiene. It seems that the village is very peaceful. By the way, have the telephones been installed? Before leaving, Mei Shui asked the village chief to come here to install the telephones. It's all installed. Every house in the back mountain has a telephone, but it's just not installed here, Xiaobai said honestly. It's okay. If you don't want to install it here, you can't install it. Grandpa Mu and his family have installed it. It's installed, and the old house has been installed as well. Master, you can go to the old house if you want to use the phone. The keys to the old house are in the hands of the old man and others. By the way, when I came out just now, the old men seemed to have answered the phone and I think they will be out in a while. I'm afraid it was a letter from Grandpa Mu. It's okay, come as soon as you come. I just bought them something and I'll let them take it back later, Mei Shui responded with a smile. It's nice to have someone happy when you get home. By the way, where is Grandma Mu? She has been back for a while, and Grandma Mu has not seen anyone. Grandma Mu should be in the back mountain. She has nothing to do recently. They and the other old ladies have made an appointment to play mahjong together, Xiaobai said with envy on his face. The old ladies have lived a good life. It seems that they all like the life in the village. Similarly, the elderly prefer the comfort of the countryside compared to the prosperity of Kyoto. No, I'm even talking about going to farm next year. I'm really not afraid of getting sick from exhaustion, Xiaobai complained. The hygiene upstairs was soon completed, and Grandma was back when Mei Shui came down. Grandma looking at the people around her, Mei Shui had a headache, but she still walked over and called them one by one. Grandma, why don't you invite Aunt Yang to come over to cook tonight? The old man and the others will come over if they want to. Grandma, he smiled lovingly. Okay, I'm happy today, we all just have a meal together. She is an old man and loves to be lively. Plus she has been away from the village for so long, and she misses them a lot. Well, I'll ask Hians to call the village chief here later. The village chief has already called someone, and he might be angry if he doesn't call him. After hearing the letter, Hian Wei immediately ran out with the old men. Mei Shui's eyes turned red as soon as she saw her. Wow, sister-in-law, you are finally back. Seeing him like this, Mei Shui was shocked. Is someone bullying you? Xiao Yi has been in the village for so long and is very naughty, but after doing things with her, he rarely gets angry, let alone cries. Some people around him fell silent when they heard Mei Shui's words. So, what else is there that you don't understand? Xiao Yi, tell me, what happened, Grandma, he asked angrily. Xiao Yi is someone who can't hide things, let alone in front of the third grandma and sister-in-law. Wow, third grandma, you are finally back. If you don't come back, I won't be able to survive. He is really aggrieved. I finally wanted to take action, but that person was an elder. No matter what happened, he would be the one to suffer. Tell me, who is so blind? Grandma He's eyes widened and she glanced around. Those who were stared at by her were a little scared. After thinking about it, it's not like they did something wrong and they are afraid of something. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. 80s, The Farmer's Wife is the Boss. Author, Village Girl in City. Chapter 330. Chapter 330, Don't underestimate the power of money. Xiao Yi seemed to have found a supporter and started talking directly. It turns out that not long after Grandma He and the others left, He and Mei went back to her parents' house and said she wanted to bring some vegetables from the village. Of course everyone has no problem with a married woman going back to her parents' home to get some vegetables. No matter how much you take, no one will tell you anything. But, as for her, she actually found a tractor and pulled the trucks one by one. I don't know if they had planned it in advance, but they have grown a lot of vegetables this year. It's not easy to pull 2 cars in 1 month, let alone that she is also pulling cars in other teams. After Xiao Yi found out, he immediately asked her if the house was full of pigs and they couldn't eat so many vegetables. So when Xiao Yi asked, he learned that she was selling vegetables, which was a big deal. How could Xiao Yi let her take the vegetables from the village and sell them? You know, the food in Hejia village is supplied by Boss Jian and Public Security Bureau Gu. For this matter, he even had a fight with the people brought by he and Mei. Although I wasn't hurt much, my heart was very blocked. After hearing this, Mei Shui laughed angrily. It seems that someone is supporting her, I don't know who it is. After saying this, Mei Shui glanced at Aunt Zhengting. Aunt Zhengting sighed and turned her head away. There is no need for her to say this, everyone knows it. Seeing her like this, what else did Mei Shui not understand? So, Grandma asked her to do this. Mei Shui was really angry. That's right, the grandma also said that the price would be higher if she sells this dish herself. It is true that the price is higher, but that's not all. Mei Shui told the village chief about this matter earlier, and the village chief also told the people in the village. Everyone is willing to sell vegetables to Boss Jian, but you may not be able to get a higher price than selling them yourself. How much? Mei Shui wanted to hear how much higher it could be. $1 per caddy, Xiao Yi replied, wiping his tears. Heh, it's only 1 yuan a pound. I have the nerve to tell you. Which team did she go to get food? Mei Shui knew, and Qian Xiang paid 1.5 yuan for this dish. Team 3, that family has a good relationship with third grandma, but this is the first time they are growing vegetables this year, said a young man nearby. Mei Shui smiled. Are you willing to sell it for 1 yuan per caddy? Looking at the people around her, Mei Shui asked loudly. Of course everyone is unwilling. If you don't want to, don't worry, Xiaoxiu, we are not that kind of people. If the dish is sold to Boss Jian, we will sell it to him. That's right, Boss Jian treats us well. That's right, Boss Jian gave us New Year's gifts last year. The sounds are each higher than the last. Mr. Zhao, who just happened to come over, listened to everything. This business is related to his grandson, so of course he cares about it. He also knows what he and me I did. He also comforts Xiao Yi, because he is afraid that he will conflict with others and it will not be good if he gets hurt. Well, you all know the price Boss Jian gives you. People, you have to be conscientious. Mei Shui knew that not everyone in the village had a conscience. But if you won't be remembered for 1,000 years because of the favor you received, at least it would be too ugly for you to see each other. But what did he and me I do? Does this make her parents and brothers still be human beings in the village? Xiao Yi, does Uncle Jing have something to say about this? Mei Shui wanted to know. Xiao Yi shook his head. Uncle Zhengjing tried to persuade him, and Brother Anhua also tried to stop him. Brother Anhua was even scolded by he and me until he cried when he said this. Xiao Yi was very angry. If his sister was like this, he would beat her to death. Okay, I've made a note of this. Let's do this. The next batch of vegetable seeds will not be sold to He Zhengjing's family. Humph, can't you stop it? She didn't believe it. It's good to have the result. Grandma, he sighed. Everyone, please go back. I hope you will remember my good deeds. She waved her hand and chased the people away like flies. The uncles and aunts in the village all knew what Grandma he meant, and they all left the He family courtyard one by one. He was swearing when he left. Grandma he felt a little happy about this matter. Huh, my sister-in-law is still such a failure in life. Whether it was when I was young or now, people always criticize me by name. After everyone left, only the old men and Aunt Zillian were left. Aunt Zhengting, you don't have to think too much. This matter has nothing to do with you. Let's do this. Don't plant too many vegetables next year to save yourself trouble, Mei Shui said to Aunt Zhengting. This time I think Aunt Zhengting was not less angry. Hey, I think so too. Upon hearing this, Aunt Zhengting also had a smile on her face. You have no future, and you are still being suppressed after so many years, Grandma, he cursed. Aunt Zhengting also knew that third aunt felt sorry for her, so she didn't say anything back and smiled at her. You are so obedient. Learn from Mei Lian more so that you don't get eaten by others. Aunt Mei Lian quit. Third aunt, when you say sister-in-law, just say sister-in-law. Why are you dragging me here? I'm a good boy. Aunt Mei Lian's touch caused the serious atmosphere just now to dissipate. You're the only one who's still good. Hey, if you don't come here, I think Lixia will just follow you, Grandma, he laughed and scolded. After tidying up, everyone entered the main room, which was already on fire. Everyone sat down. Mr. Zhao, does Boss Jian know about this? Mei Shui asked directly to Mr. Zhao. Mr. Zhao shook his head. I didn't tell him. I thought it was almost the new year and you should come back. This matter is between you. I am here to provide for you, old man. This man is really good at being a good person. Okay, I'll call Boss Jian later. I should tell him about this. Mei Shui smiled bitterly. Xiao Yi, you did a good job. My sister-in-law will give you a big red envelope during the Chinese New Year. I also have to comfort Xiao Yi because he has been wronged. Sister-in-law, is it true? How old are you? Yes, little brat. That night, the He family courtyard was brightly lit, and it was quiet until midnight. At night, he and Xiaolo. On the second floor. Xiaoxiu, there are so many troubles in the village, I think it's better to go to the city. Hians came over after taking a shower. Mei Shui leaned on the bedside and looked at the account book Xiao Yi handed her. The accounting was left to He Zhenke, but he was too drunk today, so Xiao Yi took it directly to Mei Shui. Indeed, you have to hammer it hard, Mei Shui agreed. But why does he and me I want to sell vegetables? Isn't her husband's family well off? Did he find a job for her? Mei Shui couldn't figure it out. Xiaoxiu, you underestimate the power of money. He Ans has seen too many people's hearts. Even if she doesn't sell it herself, she can still make a lot of money by selling it to others. I'm afraid you don't know how famous our Hejia village cuisine is, right? After speaking, Hians looked proud and climbed into bed. Now the vegetables in our village are only sold to Qianziang and Guji. Even Boss Me can only buy vegetables from surrounding villages, but the taste is very different. Speaking of this, there is something else that Mei Shui doesn't understand. A new month has begun, what can you ask for? Please subscribe so that the author can get a guaranteed salary. End of this chapter. 80s, the farmer's wife is the boss. Author, Village Girl in City. Chapter 331. Chapter 331, Don't agree. That's true, but he and Mi's appearance is so ugly. She really thinks she is a person. I originally wanted to think that she was a fart, but now it seems. You, don't mess around. Leave this matter to Grandma. Don't worry. If you take action, it will be very troublesome for Grandma to come to the door. Grandma is famous for being shameless. She was blackmailed into that place. It's just a trouble. At such an old age, it would be terrible to be unable to be beaten or scolded. Oh, that's right. How could I have forgotten about Grandma? Grandma was still saying that day that no one in the city could practice talking with her. Mei Shui laughed. Looking at her smile, Hians felt that she was deliberately seducing him. Pull the account book in her hand away, hug the person directly with both hands, and press her up. Daughter-in-law, you don't have to get up early tomorrow, why not? Hians hasn't had for a long time. Are you a beast? Mei Shui was really convinced by him. She made trouble with her every night, and kept making trouble until midnight every time. Every time. Thinking of this, Mei Shui blushed. Let's try a new move tonight, Xiaoxiu, let's put a TV and DVD upstairs. Fang Kai brought me a lot of DVDs last time. Mei Shui was stunned, what disc? Let's just treat the disc as a joke by the author. Haha, that's what it is. Which kind? Hians kissed her ear and whispered, I want to watch the DVD with you that teaches us how to do things. Mei Shui was excited, so, your movements these days are all learned from inside. It turns out that he is having sex, huh, man? Yes, Xiaoxiu, are you feeling well? Hians began to pant. Haha, man. This night, Mei Shui was directly forced to unlock many postures. The days when I returned to the village were very lively, and people would come here every day. After Hians left the village with the goods, the village chief came to visit again. Mei Shui was a little speechless. Uncle Village Chief, why didn't you tell Ans when he was at home? She couldn't understand why it would be better to tell Hians about this. I was thinking about it. I mentioned it to him. Do you know how he responded to me? When talking about this, the village chief was also angry. How to say it? Mei Shui became interested. The village chief took a deep breath. He said, as the village chief doesn't earn as much as his wife, why should he take over this thankless job? Tell me, is this what people say? Well, Mei Shui always knew that he was feeling inferior because she made more money than him, but she didn't expect that this shameless man would actually use it as an excuse now. He's not wrong either. Mei Shui looked embarrassed, but for the sake of his face, she suppressed the urge to curse and laughed. The village chief opened his mouth and felt unable to close it. So, you also agree with him? I didn't expect it, I didn't expect it. Seeing the disappointment on the village chief's face, he felt hurt. Xiaoxiu, think about it, if Ans becomes the village chief, it will also help your family's career. The village chief planned to talk to Mei Shui about this matter. He is not young yet and has a few more years left to serve. Sooner or later he will retire, so it is better to find someone who can take over in advance. Whether it's good for him or the people in the village. Uncle Village Chief, you are still very young, why are you thinking of abdicating? Isn't it said that officials don't like to abdicate? Who is he doing this for? It's not just for them. If the Chen family of the fourth group gets the position of village chief, they will be uncomfortable at that time. The village chief carefully told Mei Shui about the powerful relationship. Mei Shui nodded after hearing this. She really embarrassed the village chief. Uncle, you better not count ends in this matter. Let's do this. What do you think of Uncle Jinan and Uncle Jinkei? It is impossible for he ends to take over as the village chief. Location. It's not that they can't do it, but they are always a little behind in terms of ability. Besides, what's the use of our agreement? Are other people in the village willing? The village chief is also in a dilemma. Oh, what is this? If possible, Mei Shui would certainly hope that the position of village chief would be in their group. The village chief election requires villagers to vote. There are very few people in the village. Each team has its own ideas. Think about it, who among them will obey whom? To put it bluntly, people all have selfish motives. No matter which group of people becomes the village leader, it will definitely be beneficial to their own group. It would definitely be better for them to rely on people from the stream side to serve as village chiefs than to have people from the mountains as village chiefs. Of course Mei Shui understands this, but she doesn't care about it. No matter who becomes the village chief, would he still dare to attack her family? Are you trying to canvass for votes? It's not like Mei Shui has never seen this before. Wasn't it the same when the base chose the captain? You can become an official if you have more people, but compared to having powerful people, these are not important. Uncle, let's see. It's impossible for he ends to become the village chief, but Uncle Jinan and Uncle Jinkei can consider it. If you think it's okay, then I don't mind helping you during the election. Mei Shui was very serious. Road. After her words, the village chief also breathed a sigh of relief. It's not a bad idea for you to have this idea. Of course, it would be even better if Ans can be the village chief. Uncle, don't even think about it. It's impossible for him, but Uncle Jinkei and the others are not bad either. After the matter was settled, the village chief left the He family courtyard. Meixiu looked at the hunchbacked village chief and shook her head. It seems that the village chief is really old, she sighed. Turning back to the house, Mei Shui began to prepare things for the new year. Xiao and the others had already gone to the village for wild activities, and they didn't know where they went. And Wen and the others haven't come back yet, and Mei Shui is still not as lively as before. Of course, this is her only feeling. Xiaoxiu, don't agree to everyone celebrating the new year at home this year. It will be very annoying at some point. Grandma He walked in from outside the house. Meixiu raised her head and looked at her grandma. What's wrong? How long have you been out for? Why were you angry when you came back? Humph, those old immortals are planning to come to our house again to eat and drink. Xiaoxiu, I'm telling you, you must not agree to them. It turns out that Grandma He went to the back mountain and planned to take a bath. It was very comfortable to take a bath today. However, as soon as she arrived at the back mountain, she was immediately surrounded by a group of dead old men. As soon as she opened her mouth, she said that she would come to their house to celebrate the new year this year. The old lady was not willing to agree, so she immediately rejected them, but they, shamelessly, actually asked the old lady at home to come over and play the family card, saying that they were childless and too lonely here. They have always regarded Xiaoxiu as their own child, so they want to celebrate the new year with them. Hee hee, that's nice to say. Why don't you come here to eat and drink for free? With such a big group of people, won't you be tired from cooking? Grandma He is of course not happy. She refuses no matter who comes. No, they said they wanted to tell Xiaoxiu that Grandma He ran out without even taking a bath. I have to tell Xiaoxiu not to agree to these shameless people. Remember to vote, recommend votes, and ask for monthly votes. End of this chapter.